Hello, you're finding me late night in the bathroom. I know it's usually in the kitchen, shocker. It's not great lighting, and if it looks like I've been crying, my best friends just told us tonight that they are pregnant, and I am so emotional about it. Just so happy for them. Anyway, thought I would start this video here. One of my New Year's resolutions, New Year's isn't until next week, but I figured it's good to get a start now, is to start waking up earlier. So that's what this video will be, is slowly moving myself up to waking up a lot earlier than I have been. Ever since I quit my job a while back, I've had this awful habit of waking up at 9 in the morning, which isn't terrible, but I just lose a lot more of the day than I would like to. My goal is to start waking up at 6 o'clock. However, I have a non-negotiable of 8 hours of sleep a night. And so with waking up earlier, I'm going to try to move my sleep schedule back. Usually I sleep from 12 to 9, and I'm going to try to move that back to 10 to 6. We'll see if it's successful. I will show you guys the process, and hopefully I'm actually able to wake up in the mornings, because every time I've tried to move my sleep schedule around, I've been unsuccessful. But now is the time. I should be able to get to 6 o'clock by the time New Year's rolls around. I will be skipping New Year's Eve and New Year's because it doesn't make sense for me to go to bed at 10 o'clock on New Year's. And I will be going to bed a little bit later tonight, but waking up early will start tomorrow. My original plan was to go to sleep at 11:30 and wake up at 7:30, but I am already past 11:30. It's 11:40 right now, so I'm going to try to go to bed by 12 and then wake up at 7:30 or 8. I'm giving myself a little leniency today, and then I'll double down tomorrow. $11:58. Going to fill up my water bottle and go to bed. This morning I was able to wake up on time despite my drowsiness. I got up and got halfway ready for the day before settling onto the couch to have some chill time by myself in the morning. I read scriptures with my husband for a little bit and then read my book for about an hour before getting on with the day. Made it out of the apartment to head to the gym. We are going to do a ski focused workout, and that kind of concludes my morning. So I will catch up with you again tonight. The plan is to go to bed actually at 11:30 tonight and then wake up at the same time. After a very productive day and about a million loads of laundry, I got ready for bed at around the right time this night. I'll be honest, I was in the biggest funk this day. I felt like I was dealing with some very complicated emotions going into the new year and accepting that the last year wasn't exactly what I had hoped for or planned for. I also felt as though I was kind of mourning friendships that weren't necessarily over, but moving into different life stages. And I felt this day that I really just needed to sit with those emotions, truly feel them, and understand why I was feeling them before I could move on. So my goal this entire day was to allow myself the grace and the time to really process. Something that always helps me when I'm in a funk is just keeping up my normal routines. So actually getting up, getting ready, going to the gym, and keeping myself moving. That way I feel more like my normal self, and it really helps me to actually regulate my emotions and get back to my regular emotional state. I am ready for bed. It is 10:56, so perfect timing because I need to do 15 more minutes of my check lesson right now, and then I will head off to bed. I think I already said this, but the goal is to wake up at 7:30 tomorrow. I know that's not early at all, but when I've been waking up at 9 for like the past year and a half, it feels really early. So I do feel like I need to get used to waking up at that time before I push the time further back, just because I don't want to set myself up for failure. So see if 7:30 works out tomorrow. It did this morning. It felt good to have like so much time to actually sit down and read and just do the things that I don't set time aside for in my everyday life. I'm awake. What the freak? It was not supposed to snow last night. I actually had a harder time waking up this morning, weirdly, but I did get out of bed at 7:40. Now I'm going to read. This morning, it was so hard for me to wake up. I was out of bed by 7:40, which should not be hard at all, but I think because it's a stormy week, it's been like super dark, which makes it so much harder to wake up, and then it was really cold this morning. I think both of those things combined just made it like not a great combination, but I did get up. We read scriptures for about 20 minutes, and then I read my book for another hour. I usually go to work out at this time, but because we skied on Monday, we worked out yesterday, and we're skiing on Thursday, which is usually our rest day. We're going to take the rest day today. Instead of working out, I'm going to get ready for the day, and then I have a whole lot of chores to catch up on because we've been out of town for like last month. So that kind of concludes my morning, and I will check in tonight. The goal tonight is to go to bed at 11 and wake up at 7. Hello, it's about 10 o'clock. We've had a little bit of a change of plans. Tomorrow we're going skiing and need to leave our apartment by 7. So instead of 7 o'clock wake up time, I'm gonna go for a 6:30 wake up time, but I'm going to keep the time I'm going to bed tonight the same. So my goal is to be in bed in an hour. Unfortunately failed at my goal tonight. It is 11:10. I need to fill up my water bottle and then I'll get into bed, but still pretty close, and we'll try again tomorrow. Which one? Ended up getting out of bed at 6:50, so not my goal time, but we are out the door only 10 minutes late at 7:10. It is now, what, 10 o'clock?
9:40.
9:40. I failed at my wake up time this morning. Ended up waking up at 6:50 instead of 6:30, and then I also failed at my nighttime last night. I was in bed by 11:10, but I don't think I actually fell asleep until 12. But because of skiing, I'm pretty sure I am really tired tonight, so I think I should be able to get in bed by 11. And then in the morning, because I failed by 6:30, I'm going to stick to trying to wake up at 7, and then once I'm successful at that, we'll move it forward. And we are obviously ready to go to bed. I do not want to be awake. So, complete transparency, I have been really frustrated with myself this week with this challenge. I was hoping at this point that waking up would be easier with me going to bed earlier, but I just can't seem to freaking do it. Last night, I was even able to fall asleep at 11 and I could not wake up. I sent like 10 alarms and I still got up at 7:20, which is still a lot of improvement from 9 o'clock in the mornings, but I'm just frustrated that it's not easier. I'm getting the same amount of sleep, so you would think that I would be able to do it, but I'm trying to remind myself that perfectionism is the enemy of progress and I just have to keep trying. The question is, should I back up my bedtime time again tonight and wake up earlier, or should I try the 11 to 7 again? With New Year's Eve and New Year's Day being in a couple days, I'm just even wondering if it's worth it right now. I will get back to you on what I decide. It's currently 9 o'clock and I'm planning on an 11 to 7 again. If I'm able to complete this, then I'll move forward my wake up or move back my wake up time. If I cannot do it, I think I'm going to stick with 11 to 7 as my time because 10 to 6 might have been a little bit ambitious. I did just turn down a movie to go to bed on time, so I am committed. Also, I don't think you need more footage of me getting ready for bed tonight, so see you in a few hours. I always say couple, and Noah actually uses couple literally, like as two, so I have to switch up my wording. Hello, Happy New Year. We are currently at my parents' house, and I am ready for bed. Yesterday was New Year's Eve, and I was able to wake up at 7. I stayed awake for like an hour, and then I decided I just really wanted to cuddle with Noah, so I ended up going back to sleep and then waking up like a little bit later. But I do feel like I accomplished it because I did wake up at 7 and stay awake for an hour, which I feel like means that I was fully awake. And of course, I didn't go to bed until way after midnight because it was New Year's Eve. And then I didn't wake up at 7 because it was New Year's Day. Today, it's a new year, so I'm trying to get my New Year's resolution back on track, and it is currently what, 10:20? 10:20. I'm going to do my Czech lessons and then go to sleep, and then hopefully wake up between 6:30 and 7. Hello, I am sad to report that I did not wake up on time today. I woke up for probably a minute or two and then fell back asleep and woke up around 7:30. So I'm starting to think that my body just naturally wants to settle in at waking up at 7 o'clock, which is okay with me, but I do want to eventually get to 6 o'clock. So I am going to give it one last go tonight and try to fall asleep by 10 and wake up at 6. It is officially the new year, so I want to wrap this up on a good schedule. So we're going to try again tonight and then probably set my schedule to normally be 11 to 7. 9:55 and headed to bed. Hello, I am cooking, so I'm just going to talk to you while I cook and give you a rundown of how I feel after this week. This morning, I was able to wake up at 6 a.m., which I'm really proud of because I really struggled with all of the times leading up to 6 o'clock. But today was the first day in most of this week that I've actually felt like rested. And I think that's because I like truly fell asleep on time and it was really early for me instead of just like slightly off what my normal schedule is. So I feel really good about today. However, I do think I'm going to stick with what I was saying the other day about how my body feels like it more naturally sits at like an 11 to 7 schedule instead of the 10 to 6. Also, I do feel like going to sleep at 10 o'clock is just really early and kind of impedes on plans for the day, where 11 o'clock is a much more like normal time to go to sleep. So that is a decision that I feel like is a little bit more sustainable than going to bed at 10 and waking up at 6. Even though it was nice to have that extra hour today, I just don't think that that's right for me. So anyway, as a kind of review for the week, I slowly made my way up to 6 o'clock, and I do like having the extra time in the morning. It is nice to have time for the things I don't usually make time for. Like, my husband and I have gotten back into reading the scriptures, which we literally haven't done our entire marriage. And I've had time to read. I get to the gym earlier, which just means I get on with my day a lot faster. But I have been like really weirdly emotional this last week, and I don't know if that's because of the lack of sleep, and that's just something that I wasn't expecting. Obviously, when I started this challenge, we started it off like right after I was crying, so that was before I even started the challenge. But I don't know, just the change in my sleep schedule kind of messed with my emotions a little bit. But I do believe that if I was able to just keep that same schedule as like my normal schedule, my body would get used to it and that wouldn't be a problem anymore. Anyway, it's been nice to feel like I'm more productive in the mornings, to not feel like I slept through the entire day and I'm just like wasting my life. I am very happy going into this New Year's. I feel like I'm getting a fresh start and I'm like starting with really good habits. Whereas last year, I feel like I just kind of went through the motions and hoped that the year would go good. I think it's been good to wake up earlier. I definitely feel like I get a lot more done during the day. Thank you for coming along with me. I'm super excited. So I'm going to do a 6-month post-Accutane skincare and skin update, and then we are going to Hawaii the next week, and then we are packing up and moving. We're not going to live in this apartment anymore because we're going to Europe for 6 weeks. So I have some really exciting videos coming up and I just cannot wait. So hopefully you subscribe so you can follow along our adventures in Europe and Hawaii and just moving out. Anyway, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed.